I'm Lisa Silverbrand from Recreated Designs, and you're watching Hometalk. So the first thing we want to do is create a base for our project. And I'm just going to use a paper cup that you probably have at home. And we want to create more of a rustic look to it than just our paper cup. So I'm going to use some twine, and I'm going to cover my cup with twine. All I need to do is use some hot glue to start it. And I'm just going to start it under the lip of my cup. And I'm going to go all the way around my cup until my cup is covered. So I'm going to keep going around my cup here. I've added some hot glue, and I'm just going to twist my twine all the way around my cup until that whole cup is nice and covered. And I'm just going to snap that off at the end, snip it off, and we are all done. We have our whole cup covered, and you wouldn't even know that that's a paper cup inside. To finish the base of our project, you want to fill your cup with something that's going to make it a little weighted down, a little heavy. So I'm going to fill mine with some birdseed. You could use sand, you could use potting soil, whatever you'd like, or even some rocks or stones to fill your cup. We want to fill it pretty close to the top. The next thing I want to take is a stick that I found on my nature walk. I want it to be fairly straight, and it doesn't need to be very long, a little bit over a foot, and I'm going to put this right down into the middle of my cup. So I want to take a paper plate and I want to roll it into a cone. Now keep in mind, you do not want to use styrofoam for this. It's tempting to use a styrofoam cone, but hot glue will actually melt styrofoam. So we want to use a paper plate, or you can use a file folder, something that's fairly thick. So I'm going to create my cone here with my paper plate. I don't want to close up the top completely, so I'm going to leave that open, and I'm going to add some hot glue to hold this in place on the edge. There you go, and we've created the base of our tree. This doesn't need to be perfect by any means, because you're going to cover it with something you found on your nature walk. Now, our tree is going to go over our stick like this, but you can see the bottom doesn't look very pretty. The bottom is all uneven, so we're actually going to use the bottom to hold our cone in place on our sticks. So you want to take a pair of scissors, and you're going to trim the bottom of your cone. You're just going to trim it in little slits up to about the same point, and then you're going to fold those pieces in. So we're creating a base of our cone. Now what I want to do is actually use that base to hold my cone in place and push my cone right over the stick, right over those base pieces. Now we want to start building our tree with these pine cones. We're going to take all different shapes of pine cones, and we want to attach them onto our cone base. We can start and do this however you'd like. You just want to keep building up your pine cones. I like to put all of the pine cones facing the same direction so that it looks like they're all part of the same tree. You can use any size of pine cone you want to build up your tree. To finish off my tree, I want to add a little bit of snow with some paint and glitter. This is just going to give it a really beautiful effect of a snowy Christmas day. So I'm going to just put a little bit of paint on the bottom of my paintbrush. I'm going to hold the top of my tree in place, and I'm just going to sweep my brush down along the branches as if it was snow that had just fallen and collected on those little pine branches. And I'm going to do this all around my tree. While that paint is still wet, I'm also going to take some glitter, and I'm just going to sprinkle some glitter into that wet paint. And as that dries, it's going to give it a gorgeous shimmery look. I hope you'll pick up some pine cones and a stick on your next nature walk and try out this holiday project. I'm Lisa from Recreated Designs. Thank you for watching Home Talk. I'll see you next time.